Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 28-11 win versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. So guys, without further ado, let's talk about it. Hey, 2 wins in a row isn't that bad, and I know people are going to say, oh, James, it was against the Falcons, and it was against the Jaguars. Who cares? Well, I care, and I'm happy to, be able to talk about 2 wins in a row. I haven't been able to do that all year, so I'm happy I can finally freaking do it this season. Another fun fact, with the Carolina Panthers loss today versus the Washington Redskins, the Buccaneers are now second in the NFC South with a 5-7 record. They have bounced back from being 3-7, and again, I know people are going to say, who cares, 5-7, it sucks, and I understand. I understand that we are still frustrated about certain things that have happened this year, but hey, we won 2 in a row, we're second in the NFC South right now, I will take that any day of the week. Let's start by talking about some of the bad. The first thing I got to address, and I've been addressing it in every single video, the turnovers, and there's only one today, okay? And that is so freaking beautiful that there was only 1 offensive turnover in this game. I cannot say enough how much I appreciate that there was only 1 offensive turnover in this game. Like, seriously, great. Keep that level up, guys, because that's absolutely awesome. But there still was a fumble, and I'm still going to point it out. Jameis Winston did fumble the ball on a sack from a Jacksonville Jaguars player. It's unfortunate. Hopefully in the future he can hold on to the ball a little bit better. And I'm not blaming Jameis Winston, guys. Everybody calm down, okay? You just calm down right now. But it was unfortunate that the fumble happened. Hopefully we can avoid offensive turnovers in the future. Again, still, can't say this enough, only 1 offensive turnover. That's really freaking good compared to what the Buccaneers have been doing the past few weeks. So hey guys, keep it up. Next thing I want to mention, Ronald Jones just did not look good in this game. He finished the game with 8 yards rushing on 6 carries. That's not very good, and, we can point to it not being all of Ronald Jones' fault, and I will talk about the offensive line here in a little bit. But Bruce Arians essentially said that Ronald Jones wasn't getting a whole heck of a lot of playing time in this game because, number 1, Peyton Barber is the hot hand, and then number 2, Ronald Jones missed a blitz blocking assignment, something along those lines, and Bruce Arians said, well, hey, you missed it, so you're out, kid. And I get it, kind of. I don't fully agree with it, but it is what it is. I'm not going to, say, get rid of Bruce Arians. He's old. He's out of touch. He sucks. Because we still won the game at the end of the day. I get it. People do like Rojo, and people do want to see him succeed. And I think he will succeed with time. But let's just enjoy the win and try not to nitpick certain players not getting certain opportunities too much. But again, it was unfortunate to see Ronald Jones only get 8 yards on 6 carries. Next thing I want to talk about, the offensive line. Hey, you know what? They weren't that good today in run blocking, which sucks because the Jacksonville Jaguars' run defense is absolutely not good. So for the Buccaneers' offensive line to just fall flat completely says a lot to how good our offensive line is at run blocking. And, Jesus, they looked rough in this game. And then especially in pass blocking in the second half, just looked terrible. The first half, I thought they actually did a pretty decent job, but in the second half, Jesus, they could not block the run, they could not block the pass, they couldn't block anything. It just sucked to see them have such a pretty decent first half and then just completely die in the second half. It sucks. You hate to see it. Guys, please don't make this a habit, please. Please, God, I beg of you. Next guy we're going to talk about, Ryan Smith. Jamel Dean went down with an injury and it put him out for the remainder of the game. Ryan Smith came in at cornerback, and man, they targeted Ryan Smith so freaking much in this game once he came in as a starting cornerback. Really don't know why they didn't have Sean Murphy-Bunting out there. I imagine they want to use him in the slot, but Jesus, put Mazzy Wilkins in there. They even did that towards the end of the game. They pretty much just said, okay, Ryan Smith, you're done. Get out of there. Mazzy Wilkins, get in there, kid. And I think Mazzy Wilkins played better than Ryan Smith. Now, Ryan Smith, he was a sure tackler, and he did the things he needed to do, making some sure tacklers. I'm not faulting him for that, but his coverage wasn't that good. They just targeted him time and time again, and it just sucked to see. Really started to get some comeback vibes from the Jaguars because they were just targeting Ryan Smith so much, and it was just working seemingly every single time. So, yeah, Ryan Smith, please just stick to special teams, man. Like, you can make so much money being a special teams player, and you are just a phenomenal special teams player. Like, we saw it in this game. The Jacksonville Jacksonville Jaguars actually made sure that Ryan Smith could not get to the returner, so they had a better chance to return the football. And you know what? It actually freaking worked. So that just shows how valuable Ryan Smith is as a gunner, that they're literally like double teaming him for blocking him on punt returns. So Ryan Smith, please, hey man, just stick to just stick to special teams and whatnot, because you freaking excel there. But please, man, don't try and play cornerback, please, much more, please. I know that's mean, but please. But now, guys, we can get to the overall positives of this stuff, and I will say just a couple more negatives. Fourth quarter play, not good, and I did talk about that a little bit with the offensive line, but just the team as a whole didn't play that well in the fourth quarter. Pretty conservative, both on the offensive and defensive side of the balls, but I kind of understand that. And then DeMar Dodson, but we all know how I feel about DeMar Dodson this year. But moving on to the positives, the first guy that I want to talk about is running back Peyton Barber, who finished the day with 44 yards on 17 carries, which isn't that good, but he did have 2 touchdowns. So shout out to him. I am going to give him the credit for the 2 touchdowns because, hey, I like guys who can score some touchdowns. So Peyton Barber did a pretty good job on the offensive side of the ball, scoring 2 touchdowns. A couple of more guys that impressed on the offensive side of the ball. How about Brashad Perriman, right? 5 receptions, 87 yards. That is his career high, for his entire career in the NFL. 87 yards is the most he's ever gotten. So shout out to Brashad Perriman. A lot of people in the live stream chat were saying, oh, James, you were right about your guy. Your guy's going out there and doing good. And Brashad Perriman is my guy. But you know what? I will admit, he struggled early on in the year. It's not like this is the, aha, I knew it, I got you. My expectations for Brashad Perriman were not met this year, but I will say, it's nice for him to go out there, get some good stuff going, finally show a little bit of that pretty nice receiver ability that people thought that he was going to have, myself included. He made some phenomenal sideline grabs in this game. So Brashad Perriman, hey, keep it up, man. Hopefully this is a sign of things to come for the remainder of this season. Love you, man. Keep up the great work. And then finally, O.J. Howard. O.J. Howard finished with 6 receptions for 61 yards. Where has this been all year? This is the O.J. Howard that we all know and love. He was making so many awesome catches left, right, and center. It's just upsetting to see because it's like, OJ, we know you can do this on a weekly basis, man. Why don't you just do it on a weekly basis? And, it's confidence, it's chemistry, it's a lot of factors that play into it from week to week, I imagine. But you know what? OJ Howard had a good game. Brashad Perriman had a good game. Shout out to those guys. And also shout out to Peyton Barber as well for being a pretty good threat in the running game, especially in the red zone. Finally, last guy I want to talk about on the offensive side of the ball. Hey, quarterback Jameis Winston. He did not finish with the best stat line. He had 21 of 33 passing, 268 passing yards, which breaks his streak for most consecutive games of 300 passing yards. It's unfortunate, but, it is what it is. But 0 touchdowns, which, boo. But, hey, 0 interceptions, which, oh my God. Do you guys remember the last time Jameis threw for 0 interceptions? It was this year. But it just feels like it's been an eternity of hell with Jameis Winston throwing interceptions. Even if it's like 1, it's like, oh, geez, another one. But, he had a game with 0 interceptions. That alone puts him up there for, possible player of the game. And I know I'm being, over dramatic and overreacting. But, still, man, that's awesome. That's great. Jameis did exactly what he needed to do to help his team win this game. And I was all here for it, okay? The story of today's game wasn't focused on Jameis Winston, and that's pretty cool in my opinion. That was actually pretty refreshing to see. The story wasn't about Jameis Winston, it was just about the defense playing so freaking good in this game. So, kind of like that, honestly. It seems like Jameis did fine in his role, and the offense did fine in their role as well, and I had no problems with it. Now we can get to, by far, the best part of this game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the second week in a row. It's the defense. Let's talk about that front 7 real quick. Jesus. Let's talk about that front 7 real quick. Going in, talking about the defensive line first, Vita Vea continues to be absolutely amazing. He is just a beast. He grabbed Leonard Fournette with one freaking hand, and it worked. He is one of the strongest players in the NFL, in my opinion. He's an absolute monster of a man. Could you imagine getting into a fight with Vita Vea? We would die. All of us would die, and I don't want that upon any of us. So let's all hope we never get into a fight with Vita Vea because he will murder us all. But besides that, I do want to talk about Ndamukong Suh. He finished the game with 2 tackles and 1 fumble recovery, which, hey, shout out to him. He got a fumble recovery. I'm always going to shout out guys who get fumble recoveries. But But yeah, overall, pretty solid day from the Buccaneers defensive line. Some good run stopping by both Vita Vea and Ndamukong Suh. You love to see that. And yeah, just overall continual dominance from the defensive line, and they definitely had a lot of help from the Buccaneers linebackers in this game. Hey, let's start talking about some of those linebackers. First, Lavonte David. He's Lavonte David. He finished the game with 7 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and a pass deflection. He's all over the field. We all know how great Lavonte David can be. He's an absolute beast. His partner in crime, Devin White. Good Lord, Devin White had a phenomenal game, guys. Let's go over the stats. 7 tackles. Okay, that's pretty good. 1 tackle for loss. Okay. 2 pass deflections. 1 quarterback hit. 1 interception. 1 fumble recovery. And 1 touchdown. Oh my goodness. Devin White's a beast. He's just an absolute monster. Everybody was saying this is the Devin White breakout game. This is just a continuance of his dominance he's had for the past month plus, seemingly. He has been so freaking good. I thought his breakout game was last week. This is just upping the ante yet again. So, like, Devin White's insane. I don't know how he continues to keep this insane level of high production play for the past couple of weeks. It's just been phenomenal to watch. So, yeah, keep it up, Devin White. You have the best partner in the world with Lavonte David. I'm so excited to see these two for the next 2-3 plus years, whatever you want to call it. They're going to be good for a long time, those two. I can guarantee you that. But going past the inside linebackers, going more to the outside linebackers, first couple of guys I want to talk about, Sam Acho. How about Sam Acho coming in as a rotational guy? He finished with 2 tackles, 1 sack, 1 quarterback hit, and 1 forced fumble. Pretty good for a guy who just got signed to the team a couple of weeks ago. Not bad stats under any circumstances. Could Sam Acho be another one of those guys who's like a late season addition for the Buccaneers? He only gets about 5-6 weeks worth of play for the team, but like he's actually very, very solid, kind of like what Kevin Minter was last year, and then a couple years ago, even before that, Will Clark. I would say maybe, who knows, he really showed up in this game, and maybe the Buccaneers re-sign him in the offseason. I know when I was talking about the linebackers a couple of videos ago, I said, yeah, maybe they bring him back, but yeah, I'm kind of warming more up to the idea after a game today from Sam Acho. But going a little bit deeper, talking about Carl Nassib, he finished with 3 tackles, 1 sack, 1 quarterback hit, and a forced fumble of his own. I believe that was recovered by Ndamukong Suh. So yeah, Carl Nassib continues to show out. He continues to look amazing. Who knows what's going to happen with him? He's going to be making good money from somewhere, be it from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or in free agency. A lot of these Buccaneers linebackers and front 7 guys are earning some amazing paychecks for themselves, and Carl Nassib's right up there at the top of the list. I think he could even get as much as, say, $10 million a year, something along those lines. So shout out to Carl Nassib, shout out to Sam Acho. Those guys are earning some paychecks. Last guy for the linebacking core that I want to talk about is Shaq Barrett. You all know Shaq Barrett. 3 tackles, 2 sacks, 1 tackle for loss, 4 quarterback hits, and a forced fumble. He just continues to blow up his stats more and more as time goes on. I believe he is now 2 sacks away from tying Warren Sapp's record for the most sacks in a season by a Tampa Bay Buccaneers player. I believe Shaq Barrett is now at 14.5 sacks. I know you could have credited Vita Vea for that 1 sack that he had, but I believe the situation was that Vita Vea started the sack, couldn't finish it, and then Shaq Barrett finished it, so I believe they just awarded the whole sack to Shaq Barrett. They may change that, they may not, we'll have to wait and see, but 14.5 sacks, even if you give him a half sack, still at 14, that's awesome. You love to see that. Shaq Barrett continues to be great. He's gonna break the record, guys. He's gonna break the record, and I'm all here for it because, you know, I love Warren Sapp, and I think that he's one of the best defensive tackles in the league, but it's really nice to see progression with your pass rush, and Shaq Barrett is that progression. You know, he's going to be making so much money in the offseason. It's going to be from the Bucs, hopefully, in my opinion. I know people have been like kind of wary about that and saying, oh, the Bucs aren't going to re-sign Shaq Barrett, but I think they will. I think he deserves every penny. He's going to be making so much money, and I'm all here for it. And finally, guys, the last player I want to shout out arguably made one of the most important plays of the game. It was Sean Murphy-Bunting, who actually had 0 tackles in this game. He did not get a single tackle, but he did get 2 pass deflections in this game, and more importantly than that, he did get a game-sealing interception. The Jacksonville Jaguars had 7 plays in the red zone, and Sean Murphy Bunting, capped off that Jacksonville drive with an interception. He almost ruined it by being at the 1-yard line, going backwards into the end zone, and then trying to take a knee. That gets you a safety, but thankfully everybody was like, get down, and they were like pulling him forward, forward towards the, remainder of the field out of the end zone. So shout out to Carlton Davis for that, because he was the guy who was like, no, you're coming with me. Let's go. We're not going to lose this. And Sean Murphy Bunting even admitted, he's like, yeah, that was a low awareness play from me, but oh well. So Carlton Davis and Sean Murphy Bunting, hey, those guys played great today. Jamel Dean did get hurt, but before that, he was playing awesome, and his absence was very much noted after Ryan Smith came in, and they just absolutely targeted the heck out of him once Jamel Dean was out. So, hey, the young secondary continues to play amazing. Carlton Davis played a really good game. Jamel Dean played a really good game until he got hurt, and then Sean Murphy Bunting, helped us win the game with his game-sealing interception. So, shout out to the boys. You'll love to see it. But yeah, guys, that's it for my review. You know how much fun it is to talk about wins? It's so much more fun. I feel more loose. I feel more like having a great time, and it's just overall a really fun time to talk about this. Let me know what you guys thought about all of the good things I talked about from this game and all of the bad things I talked about from this game down in the comments section below. Let me know what you guys think about everything that I talked about. I'm excited to get the discussion rolling on that. Again, guys, thank you so much for all the support you've been giving me with all the likes and all the comments and all the new subscribers. I really do appreciate this. We're, winding down towards the end of the season. I have some really fun stuff planned for, some more content for this channel that will be coming up soon, so keep an eye on that as always. But yeah, 2 wins in a row feels good. Hopefully we can make it 3 versus the Indianapolis Colts. But guys, again, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope y'all enjoyed, but until the next video or the next live stream, I'll see you guys in the next one. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs!